So this is literally, if you were to say, how did I succeed in my first business with my tanning spa? How did I go from using a product to opening my first store to owning the whole East, the part of I was the largest tanning salon owner in the whole state, to coming into this business and going up to the front of the room and saying, I'm going to be at the top of this company, shaking hands with the top of the people because I knew that I would, and applying the principles that they said that you needed to do, which is what you're going to learn today. And then, hold on one second. Okay, here's the success coaching webinar for this Friday, 5 simple strategies for success. And we're going to learn from an $80 million producer and what he applied to his business to create success for John and I and everyone we know. Some of the top producers that we know in the industry came from these 5 simple strategies. I applied these to my first business, in the tanning spa business. Basically, I used a product, and then I shared the product, and then I needed to expand the product, so I had to recruit managers to run my stores that brought me leveraged income and became the largest tanning salon in the state of Michigan. Then we got into this industry, same thing. We used a product. We started to share the product. We started to recruit people to share the product, and that we became the #1 people in the state of Michigan within 1 year, John and I, in this industry. Then we came into this business, Legal Shield, same thing. We used the product, satisfied customer, and went out to the marketplace. So that is really what this is about, is those 5 simple strategies, which we're going to show you here. The 2 weeks ago, we talked about, I don't understand the strategy. So today we're connecting the pieces. All right, the first piece is use the service. The purpose of your business is to create satisfied customers, and you are the first customer. So when you go out and you're recruiting people that recruit to recruit, they're basically saying, hey, look at the money you can make in Legal Shield. And you can make so much money in Legal Shield, just come in for the money. And the person doesn't even know about the product. They don't even know if the product is a good thing to have. They just come in for the money. Well, because they don't really understand or use the service, and oh, by the way, the service is good, maybe that's a byproduct of a recruit-to-recruit mentality. So that's why your business, we know a lot of people that have that philosophy. One particular person had 47 EDs. That's what they were taught, recruit-to-recruit, and they went down to 7 EDs because somebody else comes along with an idea. Oh, you can make more money over here or more money over here. And so what they do is they leave because they're not grounded in what our company's about. The mission is not in them. The value of serving a customer with the #1 value proposition in the direct sales industry is not in them. It's just ching-ching. And so if somebody comes with a better ching-ching story, a money story, and most of those stories are false, and they're what do you call, a company that's not going to be around in a year. They're just fads. So they go towards the fad, you might say, and then they're sunk. They're sunk 1 year later, and they realize they made the worst decision ever because they didn't look at the value of a service or a product that is the foundation of a company, and money follows a good product. So the first thing I do when I recruit is I say, go to this website, Today's Best Career, look at the product, look at the divisions, and if you can get excited about our service and what we do for individuals, families, companies, and their employees, then I would like to work with you. If it's not a fit for you, so this is just kind of meeting somebody on the street. We just booked a hotel, phenomenal lady for this weekend, and she's been booking all of our hotels. We just text her, and she takes care of our hotels. Phenomenal service. And I just said, you're so excellent in what you do. She goes, I love to help people, even on the little things or the big things. And then I text her, and I said, wow. I said, are you interested in leaving Hampton Hotels because you are fantastic, and we're opening up in Birmingham. I would love to, are you looking for extra money? And she said, yes, I would be interested in extra money. So I said, great, go to this website. So I give her the website so I can see. I said, if this is a product you can be passionate about, then we can definitely help you make extra income. And so that was as simple as the recruiting was, right? Because I know that I want her to use the service, I want her to be a satisfied customer, and then she will be able to do the second principle of success, which is to share the service. All right, so we go out and we use it, then we share it. My tanning bed, I used it, I got a benefit, I went out and said, wow, this is so good, everybody needs it. The Legal Shield, I used the service, wow, this is so good, everybody could use access like I have, and the way it saved me all the money and the time and the frustration and gave me peace of mind. So I went out and shared those things. Simply share the benefits you and others receive from the service. This is not difficult. This is like going to a movie. I use the service, and I go out and I share the movie. I go to a restaurant, I use the service, and I go out and I say, oh my gosh, have you been to that new restaurant? It's fantastic. I share the experience I had. That is as simple as it is. Our consumer folder just basically point and talk, point and talk. It walks you right through it. You add your emotion to it. You add your personal testimony to the consumer folder, and that is all that is needed. Facts tell, stories sell. These are a few principles. Serve, don't sell. Your goal is to educate as many families as possible by sharing the service with as many people as possible in your first 30 days if I'm starting you new. I want you to serve them by educating them that this product is available. See a few people in your first 30 days, you're going to make a little bit. See a ton, you're going to make a ton. Why the first 30 days? Because you're setting the pattern. If this is a business you're building, this is team building right now. I'm moving into team building. I'm showing you how the first two principles expand your ability to have a success in the team building. Saying to you, first, Mr. New prospect, I want you to use the service and be absolutely sold on. That's going to come through your presentations. Then you so believe in something that you want to share it with the people you care about, so you want to go out to the 40, the 50 people in the first couple of weeks, as many as possible in the shortest period of time, so that you can educate them to the fact that this service is available. And then at that presentation, we share the service and also explain that there's an opportunity. So we're going, and out of, let's say, 40 people I go to, there may be 40 presentations in my first 2 weeks, but I could sign up 30 people that say, oh my gosh, this is the greatest service. I want this service. And out of the 30 people, not all 30 are going to be in the business with me, but I made 30 sales because I went and sold the business or presented the business, shared the service, and out of that, they're going to go, wow. And the simple question is, do you know anyone, just like your family and the benefits you see for your family, are there any other families you know just like you that want to have their teenage drivers covered, a free will, blah, 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 and you kind of say that, and they go, yeah, I know about 10 people right now. Then you're at the share the service, remember, you're here, and then you say, well, then you have a business waiting for you. Would you like to either have me go present to them because you care about them and you understand the value, or would you like to be part of that? And that moves right over to the share the opportunity very naturally. So you're building it on a strong foundation of the service is so fantastic that they want it, and then they think, wow, I know a lot of people that would want it as well. So 40 people are presented to, 30 could say yes, and maybe 5, maybe a few more, but let's say 5 say, not only do I want the service, but I want to be part of this idea, this mission movement that you have, and I want to go to the marketplace like you are. I could use some extra money. So you have 30 sales and 5 new associates on your first 2 weeks. So that would look like a launch week. That's the way we were taught to go into the market with a new person, is to go to as many people as possible, and we called it, and we're going to go into this a little bit more in a second. All right, the fourth thing is simply, here's 1, 2, 3. Teach 1, 2, and 3, and help them get the biggest story possible in their first 90 days. So when I'm now, if I have 3 new associates that we recruited, and the 3 are simply told these 3 things. This is what you do. You call every day if you have to on every little thing that you want advice on, so you build your story. You go share people what's happening. We had a new associate in our office yesterday. She's called 6 times her first week. She's so jazzed out of her mind. She just is so excited. Anyway, so I had 3 new people started, and they were in my office yesterday, and so they're all like, I'm giving them their ideas of what they need to do and how simple this is, and basically this is the process. Now you have to go share the story, because a lot of people think if you go to 10 people and you shared the opportunity, and one person said, I want this business, that means they're going to get the product as well. But if you went to the 10 people with the opportunity, you would have 1 sale out of 10. If you went to 10 people with the service and 6 said, yes, I want this service, and 1 person out of the 10 wanted the business, you would have 6 sales and 1 new associate. So the thing is, what you're doing on the Recruit to Recruit is you're walking past families that need protection because you've simply gone with the idea that the only thing you're supposed to do is recruit. So 1 out of 10 people are, according to Jim Rohn and our mentor who was personally trained by Jim Rohn, he believes about 10% to 15% of everyone you present the service to are going to be part of your business. And you just have to know that. So for every 10 people that you sell a service to or present the service to, maybe 10 to 20% will be part of your business. But along the way, you're making sales and making sales. I mean, the huge, you saw the commission calculator, 10 sales a month is for an executive director, that's $2,500 a month in commissions just from the selling side. So you don't want to eliminate that part. So you teach 1 through 3, and the final step is to duplicate. So you're wanting to duplicate, and that is as easy as it is. The secret to wealth is start the process, meaning have a new person use the service, share the opportunity, and then you're going to teach them to start teaching the people that said, yes, I'd like to be part of the opportunity. You're going to teach them how to teach their people 1 through 3. All right, so that's start the process with a new team member again and again and again and again and again and again for 5 years straight. And that's what you do when you duplicate and build priority management. There's a little bit of a problem in here. This is a little bit on the team building side. We're going to go into it in further webinars. But who do you work with? On all these people that you're teaching and you're duplicating, who do you work with, who do you not work with, how do you know? And so those are some things I'm working with Brielle on right now, and I'm seeing that people really don't understand how to really determine or how to coach somebody that has great skill sets but is making some errors in judgment on their how they spend their time or how they make a presentation. Maybe they're forgetting the referral part, or they're pushing too much, they're selling versus sharing. There's a lot of different things that we do along the way to help that duplication process succeed. So let's move on. All right, and sharing the service, look at the different strategies. Here's the thing I want to have you come away from today. Sharing the service simply means making presentations to as many people as possible in your first 90 days for a new person, and then continually being consistent in what you do so that you can duplicate this and continue to build your base for yourself. So strategy 1, your contacts. Obviously, you make a list, you present to everyone you care about. You can do a PBR, that's a presentation. One-on-ones, that's a presentation. But the key is present to as many as possible in your first 30 days to set the pace. This is what we are taught over and over, and I cannot tell you how many times this was said to us the first 30 days. The pace of the leader is the pace of the team. The pace of the leader is the pace of the team. What you do your first 30 days is what you're going to teach people to do their first 30 days. Whatever you do the first 30 days is your example, is your strategy, is your template, you might say, that you say to people, this is what I did my first 30 days. So if you want to say, my first 30 days, I talked to 3 people. And then you recruit somebody and they go, what did you do? Well, I talked to 3 people. And then they go, oh, I talked to 3. Then they're going to talk to 3 people. But let's say my first 30 days, I understood that I'm setting a pattern. I'm setting a pace. So I said, I'm going to go 8 in the morning until I faint at night. And that's what we were taught, 8 to faint, 8 to faint, 8 to faint, our first 30 days. So 8 in the morning until I faint at night, I'm going to talk to as many people. And I had a minimum. Mine was 10 on the product, 10 on the business, my first 30 days. You can do anything. You can do anything for 30 days. So that was mine. I understood grand openings. I understood business launches. I understood what you needed to do on the very front end to establish a base that was solid and secure for your future. And the question is, are you willing to do this for your first 30 days so you set the precedent, you set the model for everyone else to follow after you? Okay, so what we did for our first 30 days is so outrageous, so all-out massive action, so 8 to faint. We had unbelievable, explosive success, obviously. Anybody would that is doing the kind of presentations and numbers we were doing. And the key was, listen to this, the key is you do not want maybes. You're looking for the yeses, period, end of story in your first 30 days. Yes, you want the product. Yes, you want the business. Great. No, no, maybe, maybe. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. No, no, maybe, maybe. I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. Yes, great, let's go. Yes, great, let's go. No, no, maybe, maybe, no, yes, let's go. And so you're just sorting through. It's like a line to infinity. You're talking to the people, looking for the yeses in your first 30 days so you have that established team that you're launching with, your launch team. And so that's what we did. Strategy 1, talk to everybody we knew, but you can go right in to strategy 2. Yes, when I talk to somebody that's not interested in the business, am I going to ask for referrals? Absolutely, we're going to ask for referrals. So here's, by the way, the new, for if you haven't seen the new presenter evaluation form, this is what it looks like. Every time you make a presentation, you're asking, they fill this out. Did you have a good understanding of the membership? Was it clear? Do you think it was valuable and beneficial? Would you agree others would benefit from knowing about our service? Yes, yes, yes. Our presenter's performance is evaluated based on the amount of recommendations. So here's 5 names. Here's 2 company names, people that they know own companies. Or 3 company names, and here's some potential presenters. So people that could also be helping us present to the marketplace that they would know about, that would be interested in taking our business to the marketplace. So this is a form that you can use to do the referrals, and it's a very corporate-y looking form. So referrals, they're to support you on referrals. On the street, warm market, that's the other thing. All of these things, you can do 1, you can do all 5, you can do, it just is sharing the service. And I want you to think about, there's an individual that gets on the stage and says, PBRs, PBRs, if you don't do a PBR, you're not going to be successful. Well, John and Darcy Hoffman have never, in 24 years, done a PBR. We might have done like 1 or 2 for our team, but we literally, if I would have been told to do PBRs for me, Darcy Hoffman, I would have that wouldn't have worked because I was so corporate-y, I was so business-like. I could only do business-type presentations, like at a business briefing, at a corporate center. That worked with me. Bringing someone to my home, I thought of Mary Kay, and I thought of all these other companies that I didn't want to be anything like, and I'm just like, that is just so cheesy, I'm never going to do that. And so the thing is, for you, PBRs might be awesome. That's okay, because a PBR, if you had 8 people there, you made 8 presentations. And the key is how many people are you sharing the business with or the service with, and a PBR is 8 people are going to hear about the service. So you actually accomplish this basic principle of sharing the service. It doesn't have to be that you're doing one-on-ones. Maybe this doesn't work for you. This is like, whoa, every time I do a one-on-one, I don't get any success. But when I bring people to an event and somebody else is making the presentation, I have higher success. Well, that might be I invited 10 people to a business event and 5 people showed up or 2 people showed up, so you're going to have to work with those numbers, whereas if I can have 10 people I want to talk to, and I'm going to those 10 people, so I know they're going to get the presentation because I'm going to them, so I have more control over my success versus sending a tool or inviting somebody to a meeting. They could cancel, they could not show up, they could not look at my email with the tool and the video that I sent. So total control, the most success you can have is when you are going to somebody because you know that they're actually going to see the presentation because you're the one giving it. And they can't zone off in the middle of your presentation because you're sitting there across from breakfast, at lunch, you met them for coffee, and they're going to hear about the 10-minute, 15-minute consumer folder presentation. So you have succeeded in educating them that this is a product that they could decide to have for their family or as an individual. That's the reason that this is the most, this right here, this one-on-one, going to the people and making the presentation and not waiting for the event of the week or inviting them to an event. You're kind of pushing off your success. I'm all about if it's our Tuesday night briefing and it's Wednesday morning and I talk to somebody and they can meet me by Wednesday at noon, I'm meeting them Wednesday at noon. I'm not thinking I'm going to invite them to the Saturday Super Saturday. No, no, no. It's Wednesday and they're wanting to meet. I'm going to them they're going to hear about the service and potentially be part of the business, or they're going to know companies I can talk to, or they're going to know other associates I can talk to. Huge potential, huge exponential potential just going and talking to that person. On the Street Warm Market is the greatest. Next week, actually, Jolene Campbell is going to talk about on the Street Warm Market. She's a master at it. She just talks, and she has a very natural approach on the Street Warm Market. So she lost her voice this Friday, but she is going to be talking to us on this particular avenue of sharing the service, sharing the business on the Street Warm Market. Events, again, you can do a PBR, email a tool, and then companies, okay? You can present to a company, okay? The one thing that you are is not a network marketer and not a group person. Get that out of your language. What you are is a business person that is moving the service of legal shield and identity theft into the market through a lot of different avenues. But you own a company, and your objective on your company is to move the service into the marketplace, whether it's to an individual or a family, or to their referrals, or to somebody you meet on the street, or by bringing somebody to an event that they see the presentation, or by going to a company and presenting to a group of people in the company. All of those strategies are moving the service into the marketplace. So don't say you're this and don't say you're that. You are one thing. You're a sales and marketing company that moves the #1 identity theft and legal care product into the marketplace through people, through companies, through employee benefits, through brokers, through insurance agents, through you sell the product and you teach people to recruit, and you recruit and teach those people to sell the product. Through recruits, you can be moving into the product, but we're all, or into the marketplace, sharing the service. All right, let's go to sharing the business. Same exact thing. There's a lot of different strategies. It doesn't really matter which strategy you're using, but are you getting the message out that we have a business? So are you presenting it to your contacts? Same thing, getting referrals. An example of going to a presentation. Somebody comes to a presentation, and if you do not ask them at the end of your presentation who they know, if they are not interested, so even if they're not interested in the business, that's okay, because they're going to ask for this right here. And Jill, who lived in our house, her roommate went to a presentation, wasn't interested. They said, who do you know that would be a good fit for this company? They put Jill's name down. Jill went in. The recruiter called Jill the next day. She goes in, and she ends up being the perfect fit for this particular sales opportunity. And so and she made $40,000 in 13 weeks in a summer internship because her roommate said, yeah, you know, somebody that might be good for this is my roommate Jill. And so that person that was presented to at a group presentation, it was actually an event. They did a group overview, a corporate overview, like a business briefing, and it wasn't a fit for her. But luckily, and they were smart enough to say to even people at a business briefing, if this isn't for you, who do you know? And got all those contacts handed in to the recruiter who was making the presentation, and they called those people and booked them for the next day presentation, and lo and behold, Jill was the one that went in and brought all kinds of money to that company. So referrals are huge, huge, and a lot of times the philosophy is, if I make a presentation and they say, no, I failed. And that's probably the #1 thing I see out there is you don't understand. Every presentation you make is going to explode your business. How many presentations can you make so you're making an effective presentation, you've mastered your presentation so your words are short, sweet, and powerful, and you are, if it's not a fit for them, great, no problem. Who is it a fit for based on the presentation now that they know what you do, and can you protect them as a family? And do they know companies that you could talk to as well? So it's just keep going. On the Street Warm Market, same thing as the sharing the business, sharing the product, same thing on the street. Events for sharing the business are a little different. You could go use a PBR, business briefing, executive luncheon, a big event, or email a tool. It doesn't matter, just so they see a presentation. What you use doesn't matter, just so they see the presentation. So they really, truly, completely understand the possibility of success with our product, with our timing, with our company. That's the goal. Three-way, you can have a three-way, somebody on the phone, that's another presentation that is being done by somebody else. So these are all ways to share the business. It doesn't matter. The key question I want everyone on this phone to ask is, how many presentations have I given in the last 30 days about the business and about the service? And that is your litmus test of why you're succeeding or why you're not. And the next question is, how many presentations has the people on my team made individually? And I think you'll be aghast to think they're running around doing this, doing that, inviting people, doing all kinds of crazy behaviors, but they're really not doing the basics, which is sharing the business and sharing the service. It literally, that one-to-one, that presentation is not being done. And that's the quantitative measurement you have to look at. That's what we're after, the number of presentations. Okay, so I could be doing a one-on-one, I could be doing a PBR, okay, here's PBR in my home, or I could be doing a business briefing. It doesn't matter. The question is, if I do 20 one-on-ones and you invite 20 people to a PBR that show, or 20 people to a business briefing that show, we're all doing the same number of presentations. I did 20, you did 20, somebody else who went to the business briefing and had 20 people show up did 20. You got 20 presentations, and the problem is the business briefing is kind of the opportunity side, and it's not showing the product side as much. So some people say, no, this isn't for me, and if it's not for them as a business, they think the product also isn't for them. Sometimes they get it, but it's more, okay, I'm looking at this for a business, and if the answer is no, then they walk out. A PBR is you start with the product, and then you say, by the way, the product's so good, would you be interested in the, we're looking for people to expand. So you can definitely start at a PBR by sharing the service and getting those applications, and then saying to the people, if you know 10 people, then this is a business waiting for you. We're going to take a break and get your families protected, and then show you the business side. So you can really do an effective way of sharing the service first, taking care of that, protecting families, and then those that are interested in the business staying and doing that. And then a one-on-one, same thing. You start with the service, and then you say, you know, do you know anyone? And they say, oh my gosh, I would love to do this. And then you pull out the additional tools that support that one-on-one or the business side. So here's the strategy: use the service, share the business, teach 1 through 3, and duplicate. Let's open this up. I want to show you a few things before we do that. Here is a new little cheat sheet that we're working with, because some people don't know what to bring to a presentation. This looks really complicated when you looked at it, but let's say I'm going to meet with a consumer. I would have a consumer folder, I would have a universal and an associate app, because they might sign up. So I don't bring that out. I'm there for the sharing the service. I would, if there's a third-party article, great, use something. You don't really have to have it in, you can just share it. Hey, did you see the news? Blah, blah, blah. The performance evaluations form, which I showed you early, the associate compensation form, which is this, which shows the money. Very simple. It says, here's the top reasons people are doing the business. You can make personal sales income, management overrides, or renewal income, and bonuses. It goes through the 4 big, huge reasons that people are wanting to do this business. So I would have that just in case that they wanted to learn about the business. So this isn't coming out unless they're interested. And then for new members, I have a temporary membership kit and a maximizing your membership and the member benefit brochure. That would be given to them if they sign up. So they leave with something substantial. Now, do you have to have that? No, you don't have to have that. You can have that if you want. And then this is the follow-up. You send out a thank you, a Legal Shield white paper, a Legal Shield video. What that does is it solidifies, validates. So that would be in the email that you could send out. You can go into the marketing retention, and this is the marketing retention, what you would add. If they signed up, you'd put them in consumer retention. If they didn't sign up, you'd put them in consumer marketing. So you are marketing the reasons why they need the service. So there's your follow-up, and here's the top part is what you take to the presentation. PBR, exactly the same. You hand out the consumer folder with the universal application inside the consumer folder, and that's it. Give the consumer folder presentation, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so great. And then you say, okay, there is a business. You know, how many people know 10 families, just like your family, that need a will, have traffic tickets, and you kind of go boom, boom, boom through that. Then you have a business waiting for you, and there is an exciting business attached to the people that want to take it to the marketplace. We'd love to talk to you about that. First, we're going to take care of your applications right now, and then we're going to share with you the business. We're going to take a 10-minute break. So at the PBR, you do that, and then you go into the compensation. You just hand out that simple compensation thing, go through that, simple. If they say no, you definitely ask for referrals. So if they're not interested in the business and they're leaving and they're not going to stay, you definitely get out the performance evaluations form for that PBR and say, can you help us out? We want to be better. We have a performance evaluation form that we hand in to evaluate how we did. Can you fill this out before you leave? So that would be a customer that isn't interested in the business would be using the PEF. All right, small business with no employees, same thing. We go in. Here's the product for you as a business owner. Or as a family. Here's the product for you as a business owner. So I'd have both the universal and the small business application. Any recent articles and no compensation unless that small business owner. So maybe this should have a compensation because you never know. So you need to be. So I probably should add associate compensation here, in case that person says, wow, this is a great business, I'd like to be part of it. But this is super simple. We just take those two things. If they have employees, we take that, the proposal with the employee benefit thing. We are going to have this on ShieldNation where you just click and the product comes up. You'll click and the small business proposal comes up. You click and the performance evaluation form pops up and you can just print it out. So it'll be so simple and easy for you to have. We don't have the gold cards and stuff like that. That's all at Legal Shield. But those, a lot of times people are so confused. And recently everyone went to Tucson, and I can guarantee everybody's looking at all the new stuff, and it's super great, and you're super unproductive because you're overwhelmed by all the new stuff, and what do you do with all this new stuff and all these new tools, and how does this fit in? So you're changing your game. And I would say the #1 reason that Brielle Hoffman has been ED within 6 months and has stayed ED for the last 12 months consecutive is because this is all she does. Same thing, not changed, simple. Everything is so simple, it's ridiculous. And she's focusing on one thing. How many presentations have I made? And keeping whatever she brings is not really the issue. It's that she went out and she made the presentation, and the fact that she just uses the same old things all the time, and you're changing this and you're changing that and you're looking for the new thing and looking for the new thing and having to teach it to your people, and now you don't know whether to use this or that or that or this. You've got all these options. There's so many options on what you should use that you literally are paralyzed and you're not making presentations. So if you can keep it simple and just use the same stuff all the time, yes, there's better stuff. Actually, there's better stuff. There might be a cooler little page that we could use or this or that, but I'm not doing it because I know that the key to success, whether it's an Apple phone or a hamburger joint, is just keeping the main thing. And the main thing for us is the number of presentations. So that's another thing to look at. One more. The associate, no, I went through all those and showed you this. So we are ready to turn it over for question and answer.
Great job, Darce. Real quick, I'd like to just comment on a couple of quick things. I've always believed that if you take a look at all the tools and resources that we have available to us, and I think you did a great job really just running through all of this, but look at all the tools we have available to us, the DVD, the BizOp meetings, executive luncheons, websites, sizzle calls, whatever it is, all great tools. I've always believed, and you just heard it here, from Darcy, that the product is our service is the greatest tool we've got. Real quick, let me give you another example. I don't know if anybody has been into a Best Buy lately. Darcy and I went in the other day because we're looking at doing some remodeling in our kitchen and our living room, so we went to take a look at some TVs and the technology. And something else that Darcy said, I hope all of you got it, we're the premier providers of legal and identity theft services. I'm a solution specialist. I'm a solution specialist for individuals, for families, for businesses, for insurance brokers and agents. I'm not a group specialist. I'm not a small biz specialist. I'm not a recruiting and training specialist. Like Darcy said, I have a major company. Every one of you have a major company. Now follow me a second. If you haven't done this in a while, maybe think about it next time you walk into, a Walmart or let's just take a Best Buy for a second. When we walked in, the person said, "Can we help you?" We said, "Yes, we're here to look at TVs." So the guy who sells laptops and computers isn't the guy who took us back to see the TVs. They put us in front of somebody who really understood the latest technology in TVs. So as the business owner you are, as you're sitting down, understand everybody can relate to the family plan. When I'm with an insurance broker, I lead with the family plan. I want them to see the value in the consumer folder, what we do for their clientele, and then I go into the business opportunity. Now, if that's something that you don't necessarily understand and do real well or don't maybe specialize in, guess what? Just like walking into Best Buy, when the person says, can I help you, and I say TVs, they take me over to a technology specialist with TVs per se. Steve Hales is very smart. He did a great job. He met someone who was excited about our membership and realized that they are insurance brokers. Well, he did the basics. He did what he was good at in respect to presenting the benefits of our family plan, but then he immediately brought me into the mix. He put me on a three-way call with the father and daughter of a very large brokerage firm who are flat out excited about our service and the ability to take this out to all kinds of brokers that they know. He didn't thus try to become a specialist and now put on the insurance hat, but because of his company that he represents, Legal Shield, he has the opportunity through that membership to expose, people from all different walks of life. We have a host of services. We have a host of products that can really complement individuals, families, businesses, insurance brokers, all across the board. Just learn how to leverage in respect, everything that is available to us. And so, this is a whole different really kind of training and topic for another time. But what an amazing job, and hopefully that really makes sense, to a lot of you out there. And if you'll duplicate this simple training, if you'll duplicate the use of the service, the sharing of the service, the sharing of the opportunity, the building of events, the teaching 1 through 3, keep the main thing, watch what happens as you build a team. So we'll go over to Bob real quick and Jerry for just real quick comments because we're way into the hour of 22 after. And I'm going to do that real quick just so you guys can raise your hand. And anybody that has a question, a comment, an aha moment, anything that you'd like to share, that's great. There were a few questions on here. I couldn't answer them because I didn't have control of the dashboard. Hopefully Trish will see that in the future, and we can make that happen. A PBR is a private business. Just get with your team, workout partners. They'll share that with you what a PBR is. Also, if you can't get into the audio portion, go into your audio aspect of your dashboard and put in your PIN codes and access codes, and that allows you to get into the audio portion. So raise your hand on your dashboard. We'll come to you for any questions or comments you'd like to make. Bob Cohen, real quick, out in the Los Angeles market, quick thoughts from you. I know this really registered because this is something I was able to come to the table probably 15 years ago with you and Jerry as we talked about the value of this membership and how we market it. So over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, and you guys are absolutely correct. The hero of this story is the customer. They're the ones who really are going to benefit. And folks, if you can just wrap your arms around that, myself being a satisfied customer first, going through that legal situation, using the service got me out of it, and no crazy legal bill. It just absolutely opened my eyes. And I'll give you a couple real quick examples. I'm out here in the field, and we've got an associate. She's an attorney. Her name is Terry, and Terry's been with the company 10-plus years. Terry is very, very busy, but she's been recruiting lately, and we've been sitting down with her new associates. And Mr. Hoffman, this is exactly what we've been doing here last couple of evenings, is meeting with her team and really just going through the basics, just like we're seeing everything on this presentation today. We're encouraging, we're going through the checklist over at ShieldNation.com. We're putting in the law firm phone number into their cell phones, where they've got homework and that they've got to call the law firm, even though these are attorneys. These are practicing attorneys out there. We want them to be satisfied customers. We want them to experience what we've experienced, because most people, they don't even know if the phone rings, and here they're out there sharing this service. So this is exactly really the process to bring a brand new associate, to the table. Also, what did I do? I did a consumer folder presentation to them. Why? Because I want to show them how professional, how simple this business is. So those are just a couple points here, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's been said, you know, master the mundane with a great attitude. You'll be very, very successful with Legal Shield. Back to you.
Absolutely, Bob. Appreciate it. So Bob was a satisfied customer, used the service, and then thought, man, not only is this service great for me, but I can share it with others. And how many years later, Bob, how long have you been on board?
15 years now.
15 years, and thousands of families have benefited from the team that Bob has put together. Fantastic. Real quick, don't forget the announcements. The big events, the super regionals coming up in October, Vegas, Baltimore, Atlanta, Chicago. This Sunday evening, do not miss the new formatted business overview and business opportunity on the ShieldNation call. We will carry that from 8 to 8:20. Do not hang up. We will probably talk for a few minutes, but Jeff Bell, the CEO of Legal Shield, the new CEO, is going to be our guest speaker this Sunday evening starting at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. All of that information is on the ShieldNation website under events. You can just click on that and see the conference calls. You can get the conference call number. You should have this in your basically pre-dial information on your phones. But Jeff Bell, CEO of Legal Shield, will be with us this Sunday night, specifically talking to the ShieldNation organization. I am also putting together a meet and greet at the ED retreat Saturday just for the executive directors of ShieldNation to personally spend time getting to meet Jeff Bell, but more importantly for Darcy and I to be able to take the opportunity to introduce the ShieldNation executive directors to our new CEO. That's what we do, and that's what we're pretty passionate about. Let's go to Carmen Wilkes real quick, and then we'll wrap up with Mr. Lafredo out in the Arizona marketplace. Carmen, go ahead. Carmen Wilkes.
Sorry, John, I was trying to unmute my phone. Can you hear me?
All right. Great to have you.
Thanks. I just wanted to say one of the things that I've been trying to do over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months once I discovered Darcy's tracking sheet is using it. And my first reaction is always, I have to use this perfectly. And then I realized, just go do it. So I've been out doing the consumer folder and just trying. And each week I get a little bit better at it. And this last week I had 2 one-on-ones. And after I got done with my 2 one-on-ones, there was another friend that I met at a networking group doing a one-on-one. And the lady that he was doing a one-on-one walked up to me and said, could you show me what you're doing? She was an attorney. It was amazing. And so it's great. And I just wanted to say the sheets that are on there that Darcy's showing us on what to take to each whenever we do a presentation and what we need to take, that is awesome. So thanks, you guys. I so appreciate it.
I tell you what, Carmen, that's exciting, and I just love hearing it because, and number one, I appreciate your transparency. For the people that think they have to do things perfectly, what life will give you is a life of mediocrity because you'll never go and do anything. The fact is do as Carmen did, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it. You just have to do it because what happens is each time, as you just heard from Carmen, you get a little better and a little better. You figure out a little more, and you figure out a little more, and before long, you're the master of your destiny. So, Carmen, appreciate that so much. Charisse Cornell, we can't call on you unless you get into the audio portion of the phone, of the webinar, and that's your PIN code and access code. That's all we can do. Let's see. Okay, we'll go out to Mr. Marv Worthy. Marv, you're on mute. So, Marv Worthy, real quick from you, then we'll wrap up with Mr. Lafredo. Marv, you're on mute. All right. Okay, anybody else? Steve Hales, real quick, comments or thoughts from you?
Sure, John. You hear me all right? I just wanted to point out that lately I've been qualifying people that are ready for the opportunity by, you know, they have to see the value for themselves, and they have to give me referrals. They have to fill out that evaluation form and give referrals before I'll even qualify them to hear about the opportunity. You know, it just seems to me, even the brokers that I met with yesterday, they've all got to get the membership. They got to see the value for themselves before they can go out and market this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like the Bob Cohen story. Bob Cohen, you know, was a satisfied customer. He saw the value in the membership and thus bought it. You know, and when somebody buys the membership, it's very easy for them to go into the evaluation form. It's very easy to get referrals because almost everybody that cares about people, if they have peace of mind, if they have that and they're empowered with 6,900 attorneys, 2,200 licensed fraud investigators for less than a cup of coffee a day, they're basically going to want to share their contacts with you to help others. And if you did a good job and you educated and you didn't do a high-pressure, hard close, if you didn't do something funky and weird to them, you're going to get referrals. So, Steve, appreciate it. Teresa Johnson, real quick to you.
Yes, thank you so much, John. This was an incredible, incredible webinar, as always. But, you know, you talked about the aha moment, and I think Darcy hit the nail on the head when she talked about in the first 30 days is so important when we're bringing on new associates on the team. And, you know, the point that you're looking for the yeses in the first 30 days, not looking for the maybes. And sometimes, you know, the new associate gets stuck on the maybes or the people who are hem-hawing on the fence instead of just focusing on the yeses. That's number one. Number two, just wanted to say, you know, since day one for me, I was taught by you and Darcy and the Hamiltons that, you know, if the person does not want to get the membership, they don't see the value in the membership, I just don't recruit them. They won't work for my business because you need to see value in the membership. I don't want to recruit individuals who recruit other individuals into our business who don't have a membership. That just does not work. They're not grounded, as Darcy talked about, and eventually they fizzle out because it's all about the money. So that's very, very important. And the last comment I wanted to make is simple errors in judgment. I'm going to be transparent too. You know, people ask me, what do you focus on? I like to say, you know, oftentimes I'm more of a network marketer than the groupie type person. But, you know, I love the fact that I am a solution specialist. I like to introduce what we do with our company, our service, into the marketplace. I want to bring value to the marketplace. So thank you for that. And, you know, lastly, you're right. Everybody went to Tucson. There's a lot of great information. But you know what? Some people are just stuck because they're overwhelmed with all of the great information but don't know what to do. This webinar really helps put it in perspective. So thank you very much again. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Teresa. Appreciate those comments. And let's wrap up with one of our Millionaire Club members. We'll go out to Phoenix real quick for any closing comments from Mr. Lafredo.
Oh, thank you, John. Hey, listen, there's a pattern here. I'm like Bob. We were satisfied members for 4 years before we found out about the business side of the opportunity 17 years ago. So those satisfied customers are really great potential recruits, and you'd be missing it. The person who sold us the membership, you know, missed it with us. About the webinar here, I mean, this is really great. It's what we need. We are so blessed to have so many different tools and systems available to us that sometimes it gets overwhelming for a new person. We kind of forget that new person is seeing everything kind of for the first time, and it's overwhelming. You know, the KISS principle, keep it simple, came from something in science called Occam's razor, and that is, all things being equal, the simplest solution is the best one. And that's exactly what we're talking about. I love what to bring to the presentation, because if somebody is new, they go to this and they realizing what they're going to be doing, they can go down. If they don't know what a PBR is, they don't know what a thing is, at least they have a list that I need to know about this right now because I'm going to go and do this. I love the way this is pulled together in the simplest possible form so that people can get started without being overwhelmed. So with that, back to you, John, and thanks so much for this, you and Darcy.
Thanks for your comments. 4 years, satisfied customer. And I'll tell you this, and Darcy and mine, 20-plus years in the industry, our biggest business builders. Listen to my words, folks. I didn't say our biggest network marketers. That's not a language I use. You know, that's so weird, all right? I'm just a business builder. We've experienced phenomenal growth. I'm looking for people that can help us expand our business. sales, marketing, executive headhunter, recruiter, okay? But our biggest business builders have been satisfied customers first. That's over 20 years, so pretty amazing. Again, Darcy, great job. Any closing or final comments from you, Darcy?
Nope. Just I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. So think of this as your recipe card when you make chocolate chip cookies, what you have in front of you here. You just look at, okay, a cup of this, a cup of that, a teaspoon of this, a teaspoon of that, and then you have the success you want in your cookies. If they just look at this chart, this is your recipe for success. So that's the point of this.
Great. And I'm not sure, real quick, I always want to make sure that we provide recognition. Let me do this. James Candelaria just qualified. Fast Start just got his first promotion. Hey, James, your line is open. Any comments from you? Congratulations. So proud of you, man. And I know great things are coming your way. So, James, your line is open. Any comments or thoughts from you?
Harry?
Yeah, there we go. We got you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. This was a great webinar, you guys. Thank you so much. A lot of great information. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations. Great to have you on the team. And as Fast Start qualified and now up to the next promotion level at associate and looking for a lot of great things from this gentleman. So with that, Darcy, you're good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, be blessed, everybody, and don't forget, Jeff Bell, CEO of Legal Shield, joining the ShieldNation organization this Sunday evening. Don't just leave this promotion to you, but get it out to your entire organization. They will benefit from the vision, the passion, the principles, and certainly the experiences of our new CEO, Jeff Bell. All right, talk to y'all soon.